Catches win matches, they say, and it is so true. If you don't believe this, then we have 7 incidents to prove that proverb. Welcome to SImbly Chumma as we present the 7 costliest dropped catches in ODIs. Let's get on with the list. Number 7, Marlin Samuels dropping Martin Guptill. In the World Cup, it is important for players to be at the peak of their concentration as a small mistake can prove to be fatal. Just ask Marlin Samuels of West Indies, who will regret having dropped Guptill. In the encounter, the New Zealand batsman was on 4 when he hit 1 to short cover where Samuels was waiting. What would have been a straightforward catch ended up being dropped, and Guptill went on to make the highest score by any batsman in World Cup history, 237. Number 6, Abdul Razak drops Sachin Tendulkar. A mistake by Pakistan's bowler Abdul Razak had almost brought Pakistan's World Cup campaign to a grinding halt in 2003. Batting first, Pakistan had put up 273 for 7 owing to Saeed Anwar's classy century, 101 of 126 balls. In reply, Sachin was in full form from the very start. But still, India were reduced to a 57 for 2, having lost Virendra Sehwag and Saurav Ganguly. In the following over, the men in green had an amazing chance of thrashing India's batting lineup. Sachin was batting at 32 when Razak dropped him off the bowling of Wasim Akram. Akram knew the consequences of that dropped catch as he screamed at Abdul saying, "Tujhe pata hai tune kiska catch choda hai?" Meaning, do you know whose catch you have dropped? Adding salt to the wounds of the opposition, Tendulkar scored a brilliant 98 and India won the match. Number 5, Sarfraz dropped by Thisara Pereira. Pereira has a history of dropping important catches as demonstrated by his actions against India earlier. In a tense Champions Trophy semi-final in 2016, Lasith Malinga was bowling his heart out and they only needed the wicket of Sarfraz Ahmed to dismiss all their known batsmen from the team. Malinga bowled a slower one that deceived the Pakistani captain into playing an early shot straight to mid-on. What should have been a catch simple enough to be taken by a 10-year-old was dropped by Pereira and Sri Lanka ended up losing the entire match as Sarfraz won the game for his team. Number 4, Ross Edwards dropped Clive Lloyd in the 1975 World Cup final. The first ever World Cup saw the West Indies locking horns with Australia in the finals at Lord's. West Indies were batting first and the Aussies reduced them to 50 for 3. Clive Lloyd, the skipper, was batting at 26 when he was dropped at mid-wicket by Ross Edwards off Dennis Lillee. It could have been the final nail in the coffin for the West Indies, but the Aussies let that opportunity slip. Lloyd scored a masterful 103 to guide his team to 291. Australia, in reply, fell short by just 17 runs. Talk about fine margins. If it were not for that drop catch, who knows, Australia could have been the inaugural world champions. Number 3, Graham Gooch dropped Imran Khan in the final of the Cricket World Cup 1992. The English captain Graham Gooch would still rue the drop catch of his counterpart Imran Khan in the 1992 World Cup final. Pakistan rose from the ashes in that tournament. They were down and out, and suddenly, on the back of some inspired performances, charismatic captaincy by Khan and some luck found themselves in the final. Such oppositions are dangerous. When things are going in their favor and the momentum is with them, you cannot afford to give them even the smallest of opportunities. Khan decided to take the mantle upon himself and promoted himself to number 3 for the final. The inspired move almost turned futile when he popped one delivery straight up in the air. Gooch could not hang on and the Pakistan captain was given a reprieve. He ended up making a gritty 75, allowing Pakistan to set England a stiff target of 249 on a tricky pitch at the MCG. England came close but were bowled out for 227 and Pakistan celebrated the most glittering moment of their cricketing history. Number 2, Rohit Sharma dropped by Thisara Perera. No dropped catch is more costlier in terms of runs than Sri Lanka's Thisara Perera giving a lifeline to India's opening batsman Rohit Sharma. In an ODI match between India and Sri Lanka, Perera dropped Rohit Sharma on 4 runs and the Mumbai batsman went on to score 264 runs. This means the dropped catch costed Sri Lanka 260 additional runs that could have been avoided. Number 1, Steve Waugh dropped by Herschel Gibbs. The most iconic drop catch in probably all of cricketing history must surely belong to Herschel Gibbs. Playing a World Cup match against the Australians in 1999, Steve Waugh was batting when he hit one straight to Gibbs at short extra cover. Gibbs, who was one of the best fielders in the world at the time, took the catch, but dropped it on his knee accidentally. Steve Waugh muttered the words, "You just dropped the World Cup," when he went on to make 120 not out and win his team the game. Why this became so important was because in the semi-finals, Australia drew with South Africa, and as per the rule at that World Cup, the winner of the previous encounter would be declared a winner if it was a draw. So basically, Gibbs' drop catch became extremely important. What do you think of this list? Do let us know. If you enjoyed this video, press the like button, the share button, subscribe to SImbly Chumma for more amazing, interesting and entertaining videos on cricket and other sports.